Are you someone who keeps rushing through your day, trying to get everything done, and by the end of it, your brain feels so wired, you can't go to sleep and you just feel really restless? Or maybe you're someone who works out a lot and doesn't take enough time to recover. I've had to learn this the hard way. Well over a decade ago, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, and ever since then, I've made it a priority to manage my energy and stress levels on a daily basis. And I will share the 5 proven and very quick and simple techniques with you that I apply daily to enter a parasympathetic nervous system state. It's the state where we rest and digest, the state where our body repairs tissue and muscle, and it's so fundamental, especially if you work out a lot, but it's so fundamental for us to enter that state more often because we live in such a busy world where we seem to think hustling and keeping busy is the way to go. So I'm Katerina. I'm a registered clinical counsellor and a registered dance movement therapist here in beautiful Australia. And as always, I urge you to please seek medical advice from your trusted medical professionals, such as your doctor, if you are concerned for your health before making any changes in your lifestyle. But let's dive into it. So the number one technique that I use, and there's a couple actually that I use before I go to sleep, and that is, one is the Yoga Nidra method, and you may be familiar with that. So it's focusing on your body sensations. It's going through a guided meditation, basically, that you can look up on YouTube. I use Ellie Boothroyd. She's got a channel on here. And she has different Yoga Nidra meditations and leads you through focusing on different body parts, and I end up feeling tingling in different parts of my body, and I do it while I'm lying down in my bed before I go to sleep, so while I'm trying to go to sleep. And that really helps me enter a parasympathetic nervous system state. I sometimes put it on for 10 minutes or for 20 minutes, and it just really winds me down. So even if you say, oh, I don't have 10 or 20 minutes, sometimes I just think, even if it's already your bedtime, it still will send me to bed or to sleep much sooner if I do switch it on. So that's one thing I do. Lately, I've been doing something different, and that's sound meditation. I think there's something so powerful about sound meditation. It's engaging our auditory sense, of course, and just focusing on sound just really sends me into a calm and relaxed state. So you can find some on YouTube. Years ago, I found someone called Leith James, who I think he's in Brisbane, and he has his own CD. So I used to listen to his CD, and he's got these big gongs, and they all make slightly different sounds, and there's a whole technique to when to use which. So it's wonderful. They call it a sound bath. There's also tracks on the Arlo Wellness Club app, and that's completely free to access. And that's actually an app that's been designed and produced by the Arlo Yoga clothing brand. So I'm not sponsored by them at this stage. So, but I do use that app because it's very, very useful. Then another thing that I use every day is obviously going for a walk, and I like to go for a walk on the beach, and it's a whole sensory experience. And we all know walking sends us into a parasympathetic nervous system state, or it keeps us there because it doesn't elevate our heart rate. And for me, putting my bare feet in the sand, listening to the sounds of the ocean, of the waves, feeling the breeze on my skin, looking at the waves, looking into the sun. It's even just smelling that sort of smell of the air around the beach. It's a whole sensory immersion, and it really helps me feel so calm. By the time I come back, I can really feel a shift in my state. And another thing is to, obviously, I don't want to call it a creeping advertisement, but that's what we would say in German. So not creepy, but creeping, if it's sort of creeping up on someone. And that is obviously the tracks that I've got here on this channel, and that's those very gentle and slow moves that will help you to enter a parasympathetic nervous system state. And there's different tracks on here. So there's some that will focus on your lower back, some will focus on your neck, some will focus on just articulating your feet. I call this mindfulness in motion, or it's meditation and movement, and I would encourage you to check it out so you can see what that's all about and you can see the benefits of that. And the fifth one is connecting with people that you love and having these big belly laughs, because when we connect with people, we're naturally in a parasympathetic nervous system state if we connect with people that we are safe to be around. Just having this positive connection, sharing something of your day with someone, and feeling seen and listened to by someone, and again having a really nice laugh with someone is a very easy and quick way to help yourself truly relax, truly bring your whole system down, because it's not just sitting on the couch scrolling or switching off with a movie. It's truly bringing your system down, taking everything that you've done in the day and letting it be, and being able to do that, which is not so easy these days when we keep rushing around. And I want to mention that book, The Rushing Woman Syndrome, which I've linked for you below, and that's all about, I don't believe it just applies to women, but in that book I think it's particularly explored how it affects women's bodily systems, such as your digestive system, your hormones, and so how stress really affects you on so many different levels, and what we can do to take ourselves out of that state more often, more quickly, and how we hopefully don't enter that fight and flight state, that stressful state, too often. So let me know in the comments if you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.